Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very special STAMPtember edition of Stamp and Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and I am so excited to be here tonight with all of you and to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Wow, we have a lot of people here already, and tonight is a highly anticipated night because I get to reveal my very own STAMPtember stamp set. And I know this is a little different than the way Simon Says Stamp usually does things, but I asked Heidi if I could do this, and she was so gracious and allowed me to actually reveal it live for you at 8 o'clock. And this way, more of you can be up here in the US. I know a lot of you usually set your alarms for midnight, and we really appreciate you doing that, but we also are really excited to be able to do this as a special STAMPtember event tonight. So I'm really excited about my stamp set. This was a long time in the making, and I'm always so excited. What the heck? What's going on? I hear something. Tom, what's going on?
That's the front door.
What do you mean the front door?
I'll be right back.
It's nighttime. Who's at the front door? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on, but
Happy STAMPtember!
Look who's here!
Hello! We're
Oh
live from Gina's studio today. Thank you, Gina and Tom, for welcoming me into your studio. I'm Heidi from Simon Says Stamp. I'm Simon's mama, and Gina, I'm so honored and happy that you're here.
I am so excited.
We know
that
how
you're
talented
here.
we know how talented you are, and I get to watch her demo live using her new set, and I bet you're all dying to see it. So, Tom, do you want to work the magic camera?
Yeah. Well, first, wait before you run away. I have to tell you that this was a very last minute thing. Heidi, we talked about doing a live together for STAMPtember, but she waited for a really long time before she made the decision, and up until not that long ago, I thought we were going to go live together, her in Columbus, Ohio, and me here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But at the last minute, on standby, she made it out here. So I was pleasantly surprised this morning that she was here.
Yeah, I booked a flight on Southwest and to leave Columbus super early this morning, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it because I had to get my kids to school and then and I thought if something is delayed on that flight and I don't make it, that would be the biggest bummer. So then I found another flight that was going through St. Louis. And I found another flight. People don't want to hear about my flight.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? They want to know about your stamps.
And everybody's texting because they're all excited. So I gotta mute my phone.
We didn't tell people.
No,
my brother knew, but
we couldn't tell people because we didn't know it was really going to happen until it happened. So we are so excited. So come here and reveal this with me. Okay, you guys, are you ready? Now, I am so excited about this stamp set. This is going to be my Christmas stamp set this year. And it is called Shimmering Season. Ooh, you guys ready to see it? Here it is. Shimmering Season. And if you buy the bundle, it has this huge die set here. Now, let me tell you a little bit about this set. So I did this set in a way that it could be used for Christmas, but it could also be used all winter long. It's got this large frame design that is perfect as a grounding panel to add other images to, such as snowmen or little forest animals. You can go through your collection and find lots of little things to put up against this image. And it's also the perfect image for a beautiful shaker card. So we're going to do a shaker card tonight because why not just do something even more difficult, right? And then it's got these large snowflake images that play off of the snowflake that is in this frame. Then it's got separate little snowflakes that you can use to create a background. You can also use these in the wreath builder templates if you like building wreaths for the holidays. But because they're snowflakes, you can make winter wreaths. So this set isn't just for the holidays. It's going to extend all the way through the winter season. It also has this branch that is the perfect branch for this beautiful little bird to sit on. But you could also use this branch in a larger wreath. And if you want to know a great way to make a larger wreath, check out Jennifer McGuire's videos, because she's got some brilliant tips and tricks on how to expand the wreath builder to make bigger wreaths. And the beauty of a clear stamp is you don't have to use this straight. You can curve it to make it curve in a little bit, and that's perfect for wreath building. Then we've got lots of different greetings in here, and I think we should talk about these greetings a little bit. But we've got holidays, Christmas in big, beautiful, scripty font. And then it's got all of these little strip sentiments that work with these two. So you can say, happy holidays to you and yours. There's no place like home for the holidays. Merry Christmas, Christmas blessings, Christmas wishes, holiday wishes. There's so many different ways you can mix and match. And then one other thing that I really wanted to do with this set is I wanted to not just have these as big snowflakes, but I wanted you to be able to use these as snowflake ornaments. So I've added this little beaded string here with a bow on it. So you can make these ornaments, or you can use the same thing and make this a huge ornament. So there are so many different ways to use this set, and I know that there are so many amazing designers that have already created card projects and fantastic videos that you can watch after the live tonight or during the live, whatever you want, to get even more ideas so you can get your Shimmering Season bundle. All right, Heidi, what do you think of all this? Can I give you a job?
Yes, I need a job. Well, he's got the camera on the stamp set. That's the best place to put it.
Okay, so there we are. We're in there too. I'm going to give you a job because I'm going to have you separate the dies for me, because I'm going to probably use some of these dies tonight. So if you want to just break them apart, I can use them just that way. And then I'm going to make a shaker card. So I thought that would be the perfect thing to do. Now, trying to think about colors. For colors for a shaker card, using this set, I think it would be beautiful in tones of blue, maybe even some pinks, but also more traditional like red and green or even navy. I think what I'm going to do for my first card and my shaker card is I think I'm going to use red. So I have a piece of red hot cardstock here, and this is one of my favorite reds for Christmas. It is a hot red, kind of like a Calypso red. It's got a little bit of just a hint of orange, you know, to it, but it's still a really, really bright, vibrant red. We also have a cherry red in our collection that has a little bit more blue, and some people do like the cherry red a little more for Christmas, but I think we're going to go with this tonight. So I'm going to cut this down into a quarter sheet. Let's do that first. Quarter sheet of red. And then I think what I'm going to do, I might even cut it down a little bit more than a quarter sheet. I think I'm going to cut this down to 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. Okay. So this is going to be my first piece, and I'm going to take this stamp set out of the packaging because we're going to take a look at it. What's nice is you can look at this big, bold frame right there to make sure that it's going to fit nicely in there. Now, I'm a big, I really like things that go outside of the cardstock a little bit. So I kind of like the idea of, you know, this being a little bit bigger. I am going to cut it down to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4 to see if I like it even more like that. So let's look at that. Yeah, I think I like that. I want this frame to extend outside of this panel. And I want to have a little bit of room down here to stamp the word holidays or Christmas. And then we can cut out the greetings with the strip sentiments that are in here. And if you notice, there are actually little tiny dies for every one of these words, which I think is amazing. I never do that, Heidi, and I'm so excited that you did that.
We wanted to go all out for Gina K Designs.
Yes, you really did.
But I do need die snips. That's the thing. You have me doing over here to the side.
Well, I don't know where my die. I think my die snips are at home because I use them for some jewelry. But
bend them right off.
Yeah, but they're very easy to just break apart. And you know, some people, when they do like die cutting and then they stamp after the fact, they don't even take these apart. They just cut all the pieces and then they stamp on the pieces. So I'll get these little pieces later with my die snips that I have at home. I got to be honest with you. I do have jewelry as a second hobby. And so that's where my die snips are. Okay, so we're going to start with this. And I think I'm going to emboss that with an embossing folder. So let's see here what I want to use. You guys know what I want to use. I'm going to use my favorite embossing folder. I'm going to use our Swiss Dot embossing folder. Now, before we emboss, what I want to do is I want to stamp my greeting on here. So if you've never done this kind of partial embossing, this might be kind of fun. Let's give it a try and see how it looks. So I'm going to start by using my embossing magic pad. You can use any powder tool that you have. I know Simon has a variety of powder tools. And so you can use any one that you want. And then I'm going to get my Misty out because I'm going to stamp this greeting. And because this is a brand new stamp set, I want to make sure that I stamp it right the first time. And if it doesn't stamp right the first time, I want to be able to stamp it again. Okay, so for this card, I'm trying to decide if I want to make this a holiday card or a Christmas card. I think I'm going to make it a Christmas card.
The font you have there for Christmas
Do you like that?
Is absolutely gorgeous.
You think?
Yes. When you showed me the stamp set, because Gina is in charge of designing and illustrated and created the stamp set, the first thing that stood out for me was the font Christmas. I also love the font for holidays. I think it's probably the same font.
Yes.
And then the sentiment, there's no place like home for the holidays. And so, I mean, you can keep making, and I'll talk about this.
Okay.
That sentiment is really interesting to me because as the kids grow up and as I go to see my parents, I think about, there is no place like home for the holidays, but I also think about home is really where the heart is. And so a lot of times as my kids have gotten older for the holidays, we're going to travel and we go somewhere with my parents or my brother and my sister's kids and my sister through the years. And no matter where you are when you're with your family, it is like home for the holidays. So that sentiment means something different to me than it did when I was 5 years old and had the Christmas tree in my living room. And so now I think about things in a different way. And that stamp set just stood out at me. And the snowflakes, I immediately wanted to emboss. Are you going to be embossing, Gina? Is that what you said?
I am going to emboss. Okay. I'm going to do this card in red and gold. And I did up the size of this to the size that we started with, which was that 3 3/4 by 5. So I think I need a little more space for the greeting. I just want a little more space in there for the greeting.
When you're putting a stamp set together, how do you know what greetings you want to add with your images?
Well, I think that whenever I do a holiday stamp set, I always like to have something for Christmas, but I like to have something for the holidays as well, because there are more than one holiday that we celebrate. And I think a set becomes more useful when it has both Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Just because I celebrate Christmas doesn't mean all my friends do. So I want to have an option for them. So that's why I decided to do the Christmas and the holidays, to give both options to our customers who are looking, for one set that can do it all. Okay, so now I'm going to use some embossing and watermark ink, and I'm going to ink up this greeting. I did run that embossing magic pad over it again. And so let's give this a little press there. And then because I'm in the Misty, I'm going to stamp it a second time just to make sure that...
Hasn't Misty changed the way we stamp?
Oh, absolutely it has. Absolutely it has. There's no doubt. Those of us who struggled in the past now can just, get a nice crisp greeting, or, if we want to do two-tone stamping, we can do so many different fun techniques this way. All right, I'm going to get that out of the way.
I don't know if everybody watching realizes this, because we're streaming live right now on 2 channels. We're on Gina K Designs channel, and we're on the Simon Says Stamp channel. And for those of you who are joining us on the Simon Says Stamp channel, thank you. I also want to let everybody know that Gina does lives.
I do.
In her studio here. Tell people when you're doing your lives.
So we're also streaming live right now on my channel. And I go live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, and every Thursday at noon for a crafternoon hour. And then on the weekends, I just post my regular videos. So yeah, it's very, very fun to go live. I enjoy going live. And I know you guys might not believe this, but this is honestly the absolute truth. I don't know what I'm making tonight. I did not plan. And I never planned. And that's kind of the fun. I know some of my friends would absolutely have a heart attack, if they, if I told them they had to do that. Look how nice that embossed. This is a good stamp set as far as good quality. It's really stamping beautifully. I'm just going to heat that up a little bit more to make sure I've got it good in there. And I use the Gina K Designs Fine Detailed Gold Powder. All right, so now that we have Christmas done, I'm going to add the rest of the greeting. So I think I'm just going to do it simple for this card. I'm just going to go Merry, and I want to stick that Merry right in there. And I remember when I designed this, and Heidi and I were talking about it, and Heidi was like,
you're going to call me out on
I'm going to call you out on this. I'm going to call you out on it. But I have to a little bit anyway.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
So I'm going to just flatten this with a little bit of pixie tape right here, right on the edge, just to keep it in place. So Heidi said, hey, can you make the strip sentiments a little bit bigger? And then I had to show her my concept for the design, where these little words kind of fit in here and in here and in here. And then she was so gracious and said, okay, I like it that way. I see what you're doing there. Do you remember, Heidi?
I remember. I feel like the older I get, the more I need to wear those darned reading glasses, which, by the way, I got my first pair of readers when I was here in Wisconsin with you many years ago.
Yes, you did.
We went to one of those Five Below stores with my kids were with me, and Gina said, oh, yeah, you might need her squinting.
Well, she was squinting. And I told her, I said, there's glasses for that. And I said, and if you go to the dollar store, you can get 10 of them and you can lose them. So she did. It was so fun.
So the great irony that I thought the sentiments were hard to read because I didn't have on my readers. But
you see,
when I see what you're using them for, there's a purpose for everything. And that's one of the things I love about Gina K Designs brand. Your products are designed with intention. You use them, you create them, you teach with them, you go live with them with no plan. You have a great brand. Wait, and your husband Tom is here too. He's a big part of the brand and a big part of the support team here at Gina K Designs.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if people who are watching know, what year did you start your YouTube channel?
Well, my YouTube channel, actually 2008. But I actually started making videos on something called Google Video back in maybe 2004. And then I did that for a while, and that was really, it was like the beginning of the internet. That's when the whole internet looked like Craigslist, just
hard to find anything.
And I was on Google Video, and then something called Vimeo came out, and I went on Vimeo. And then I did Vimeo for a couple of years, and then Vimeo went down one day, and I got nervous, and I thought, everything I put on Vimeo, I'm also going to put on YouTube, because YouTube had come out. And then I went on YouTube in 2008. But yeah, I've been making videos forever. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use this embossing folder, but we're only going to emboss to about here. Okay, so I'm going to get my die cutting machine out, and we're going to do some partial die cutting.
I love that you're showing other products with a stamp set, because this is a good opportunity for me to mention one of the most requested things that our STAMPtember friends have asked for year after year after year is free shipping.
Yes.
And so this year, for the first time ever, for a limited time, but for sure for today and tomorrow, you can get free shipping on any order at SimonsSaysStamp.com with a $25 or more purchase. And Gina,
wow, that's
is showing,
really good. That is really good, Heidi.
You're showing a lot of items that are great to add to the cart with this set if people are interested in this set.
Well, I'm excited because I think that, what I'm trying to use here are items that won't only be great for Christmas, but will be great for any time of the year. Okay, so now what I've done here is, and I know that, let me move up a little bit here. Okay. I have placed my embossing folder right to where I want it to stop. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And then I'm only going to put my plate a little bit above the end of the embossing folder. Now, why am I not going all the way down? Because if I go all the way down, it's going to put a dent in my cardstock, and that's not where I want the line to be. I do want a line, but that's not where I want it to be. So I've got my plate. See if you can see this better. I've got my plate just shy of the edge, and I have my embossing folder only down to where I want it to emboss. Okay, and now I'm going to send this through. I have to really kind of shove it through a little bit here. Let me get it in the right position.
I don't know if this is a good time for me to interrupt, but I see people asking in the chat about the free shipping I just talked about. You need to use the coupon code FRSHP. FRSHP. And that is on our website storefront. So you can find it there. And if you're international, that code will take $7.99 off your order, which in the United States is the equivalent of free shipping. If your order is $25 or more, they can put that on there. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're not interrupting. Actually, my plates, get yourself some new plates while there's free shipping, because my plates are so warped that I am not able to get this through here. And I think one of the reasons is because I'm also using 2 plates and I'm using the wrong plate. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go here like this. And I think I'm going to use the Spellbinders embossing plate, this one. And if you don't have this one, this is a great one. It gives you real tight embossing. And I did the same thing, just up to the edge. And I think that's going to go through, but maybe not. That's not going to go through either. So we'll go back to the clear plate, one clear plate, and we will push that through. Now, I like a tighter embossing, so I am going to shim it with a piece of cardstock here, just one piece of cardstock, and we're going to take that through. I don't feel like that's tight enough. I'm going to go with a double. I like to struggle a little. It makes me feel like it's going to be a tighter emboss. Okay, here we go.
These are the kinds of things that I encounter most time I'm crafting in my room, so it makes me feel so much better.
Oh, I'm telling you,
play with plates like I do.
I do. Plates are tricky. Okay, now look at how beautiful that is. Can you guys see that? Tom, are they able to see that?
They are.
Okay, very good. So we did it. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to create a decorative line on there. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to create a decorative line using my Score Buddy. Okay. So I'm going to start from the front, but I really want this line to actually protrude the way these dots are. But I'm going to start on the front and just do a very light line just so I know where I want that line to be and I can see it on the back. If you don't put the little guideline in there, you're not going to know where the words are. So the little guideline helps me. And now I can go deeper and I can do a couple of score lines. Okay. So now look how pretty that is. Isn't that nice?
Cool idea to add that stripe on the bottom.
Yeah. And then you get a little bit of embossing, and then you also, have the plain area where your words are. Okay. Now for the next step, I'm going to get some white cardstock and I'm going to get a piece of acetate. But let me show you the kind of acetate that I like to use. I like these Decofoil Clear Designer Toner Sheets. But let me tell you one little trick that I like to use. So when I'm making a shaker card, what is one of the most frustrating things about shaker cards? To me, it's the fact that sometimes they're staticky and all of the shaker materials just cling to everything. So what I like to do is I like to wash my acetate first. So I did wash this in the sink with a little bit of soap, but I'm going to wet it again, and I'm going to just dry it up a little bit. For some reason, when I do that, I don't know if it creates a little bit of humidity on there, but the shaker stuff doesn't stick. So that is a little trick that has helped me. Now it's not perfect, and it depends on what kind of climate you live in. And I don't even know what the humidity here in Wisconsin is right now. So it could be extremely dry and I might have a little stickage, but we'll see. We'll see if it works. Okay, so now I'm going to cut a 1/4 sheet of white cardstock, and I am going to emboss that frame. So I just need a 1/4 sheet here. And again, I'm going to use my MISTI for that. Let me get my MISTI again. And we are going to emboss the frame. So Heidi, did you steal the stamp set? I'm sure you did. Or did I lose? No, here it is. Okay. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm sure you did. Okay, so now I'm going to take this panel right here, this piece onto this panel, and I am going to, you can pick which way you want it to be. Take a look at the different points to see which one you like at the top. It doesn't really matter. It's a very free, flowy kind of thing. There isn't a right or a wrong way to do this one. So we can stamp it anyway, and then we can turn it for our shaker card. Okay, so now I'm going to use my embossing magic pad, and I am going to rub that over. And then I'm going to use my embossing and watermark ink, and I'm going to ink this up. Let's get this magnet on here. Again, I might have to do this more than once. And I just, while we're doing this, I do want to say hello. We've got close to 4,500 people here tonight, and that is so exciting. So exciting. Thank you for joining on both my YouTube channel and Simon's YouTube channel. How exciting is that? Welcome, welcome, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for being part of STAMPtember. It's every night at midnight on our Simon Says Stamp blog, we share what the surprise is going to be for that day. And this morning at 12:01, we shared that the surprise was you're going live today with your STAMPtember reveal.
How exciting.
Yes. Next year, I think we might go live sooner. I don't know. We're open to suggestions. This is the first time we've ever done this.
Yes.
But at midnight, we like to have a surprise for everybody because STAMPtember is about surprises and fun and community and having inspiration and trying new things and seeing the community. Which is something I love about this chat here. Both Tom and I believe Reed and Susan and Beth, thank you all for helping us moderate this chat. If you have questions while Gina's live or I'm kind of here assisting her, make sure you pop into the chat and ask. This is a great community. You'll see friendly faces. Somebody might answer your question for you. You might get a shout out from a city that you recognize or that you grew up in, and you can say, hey, Crafty Sue, I'm also from Milwaukee. Nice to meet you. But this is a community. We have a really wonderful, healthy, broad community and friendly. I'll have to say friendly for sure. And we keep it positive, and Gina's good at keeping us positive, keeping us moving. I love that she did not know what she was going to make tonight. It's fun to see her brain working and her heat gun.
I love it. It's fun. I just wanted to have a little pop of red, but I really need to get the gold and the white in there too. So this is so fun. Love, love, love.
So you have family members besides Tom that have been in your business through the years. Can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Yes, I would love to. So, of course, Tom and I have been working together for many, many years. Tom, how many years have we been working together?
Yes, definitely.
That's not the right answer. Oh, I just have to like, ooh and ah over that for a minute. Isn't that pretty? That's so fun. Whew.
Beautiful design.
One of the things that I love about designing stamp sets is that I'm also a crafter. I'm not just an illustrator. I'm a crafter too. So I really think about what these cards are going to look like. And I did send you a whole bunch of card ideas when I sent this to you, just so that you would see that I wasn't losing my mind. And this was not one of them, but I'm excited about this one too. I really am. So back to the story. Yes. So my daughter Alicia is one of our illustrators. She is my older daughter. And my younger daughter Rena also illustrates, and she actually has a crafty YouTube channel as well. So it's really fun to be able to have everybody in the family jumping in and working together. And I believe that for those of you who went to Create 2 Creates ago, Rena was with me and she taught a class with me, and that was super fun too. So she actually went on the road with me and taught a lot of classes and designed some stamps. Rena designed the mandala maker. Alicia designs tons of our layering stencils. So it's a family affair. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm going to cut a template. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want my frame to be very centered and very perfect. So I'm cutting a little template out first so I can make sure that this is going to line up beautifully. And especially because when you're working with embossing powder, you see how your cardstock can kind of warp a little bit? That's normal, but sometimes it's hard to get the die on there just perfectly. So I'm going to tape this down onto my plate.
Oh, good tip.
And then I am going to, let's see if we can do this the right way here. I'm taping it down a little bit away from the edge of the design. Okay, so now it's flat. And now I'm going to line this up. I got to find the right spot. So just bear with me. I'm going to line it up so that the edge looks perfect. You see that? Now I've got that perfect edge around the outside, right? And then I'm going to tape that down with some pixie tape to make sure that it doesn't shift, because I want this edge to be really perfect. And this is a big die. It's a huge die. These dies are huge, Heidi. I mean, this die set, like, holy cow. I know that it took a lot of steel to do this, but I really felt that it was like so important to be able to offer it with dies too. I'm cutting these off because they're not going to go through. All right. And you can always keep this template once you make it. You don't have to make a new one every time. And then I'm going to pop the die in. And when I feel it click into place, then I know it's going to cut in the same spot where you could see that perfect edge. Okay. And I'm going to tape that down. And I know that might seem like a lot of work, but in my opinion, the little bit of extra time that it takes to do this, to know that the die is going to cut in the right spot, is kind of worth it. And, you know, crafting, I often say, card making and crafting, it's not a race. We do this to relax. So why rush it? It's not like, I mean, I've had my moments where I forgot to make a birthday card and Tom was in the car and I was in my craft room still finishing one up. In that case, yeah, you're going to rush a little. But for this kind of thing, it is nice to take your time and to be able to just enjoy the process. Okay, so now we can see here that that cut out perfectly exactly where we wanted it. And that line around the outside is perfect. Okay.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Isn't that so pretty? And that's going to be so pretty on this card. Isn't that going to be beautiful? I love it. Okay. So let's see here now. We're going to cut the center out of this now because we want this to be a shaker card. So here's where you might have to dig into your stash a little bit and find a circle die, or maybe with Simon's free shipping, it's time to pick up that perfect circle die set that you've been wanting. And I'm going to place this on here. And what I'm going to use is I think Master Layouts 3. Master Layouts 3 has some smaller circles in here that I think will be a really nice center for this. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one, but you can use any circle die that you want. And I'm going to be a little bit careful. Even though this is pixie tape that I'm using, I do want to just tap it onto my jeans first because I don't want it to tear this paper, and I am going to stick it onto the paper. But I think I'm going to stick it mostly into the center because that's going to fall out, and just tack it down a tiny bit to the rest. Okay.
Gina's fastest card. Remember the fastest card you turned out?
No.
Her fastest card is part of the Dear Valued Husband line.
my goodness. All right, so now we've got a little center there cut out, and that's looking pretty good, right? So Tom's always funny. Now we're going to put a window on there. So we can cut this out with a circle die. I know you can't really see it, but it is there. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about cutting this kind of thing out with a die, acetate doesn't always cut very well with a die. I'm going to just get a bigger circle die, one that I know is going to be big enough to not go outside of this design, but also big enough that I can tape the acetate to the back. I'm going to cut this piece of acetate. Now, if it doesn't cut all the way, I'm not going to worry about it. And the die I'm using is from our single stitched circles. There are other dies I could have used, and you can use any die you want. But if it doesn't cut all the way, at least it's going to, oh, it did, good. But if it doesn't, at least it's going to put a dent in your acetate so you would know where to cut with scissors. All right. So I think we've got that done. And now, let's see what we can do next. We're going to tape this, and you can do it with glue, you can do it with tape, you can do it with whatever you want, but we're going to tape that piece of acetate. I'm going to try to get it shiny so you can see onto the back here of this circle. So now we have a little bit of a window. All right. Okay. So let me get some, well, I could do it with liquid glue. It probably would work, but you know what? I think I'm not going to do that because I don't know how long it's going to take to dry. I want to keep going with my card. So I'm going to just add tape around here. A little bit of adhesive going around. Liquid glue might be a little more economical if you're going to make a lot of them, and we've got lots of great options for liquid glue. The Connect glue is a good one. You can use that for all kinds of things, including embellishments, and it's great for paper. Okay, so now we have that. And that is down. All right. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out exactly how we want our frame to look. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the Gina K designs. Let me find them. These are called shaker strips. Let me show you what the package looks like. Here's the shaker strips. And these are made for shaker cards. You can bend them a little bit. They're double-sided foam adhesive, and it makes it pretty easy to go around the perimeter. So I'm going to just place it here, and I'm going to kind of work my way around like this. This makes it a lot easier than using foam squares. And you can kind of bend it as you go, like that. And you can't see it from the other side, but this is going to contain all of my shaker bits. Okay. And let's get a little bit more here. It is great to see everybody. Welcome, everyone, to the Gina K Design STAMPtember reveal party. So much fun. Okay, and then once I get it pretty close, I'm going to take my little Simon Says stamp scissors, and I'm going to cut that right there, and then I can make that connection. You just want to make sure that there isn't anywhere that your sequins or embellishments can escape. Okay, there we go. Now, the other thing that you can do with a design like this, you can also put some little bits of this shaker strip around the outside as well. But this you'll have to trim the pieces, and it's just going to keep everything laying flat. So we're going to do that as well. We're going to just put little bits here so that when we finally adhere this to the card.
I hate interrupting, but I just wanted to make a comment from the chats. The name of the set is Shimmering Snowflakes.
Yep.
And it's Gina K Designs. It's only available at simonsaystamp.com for STAMPtember. It's a limited edition. Once it sells out, it's gone for good. But if you go to our website, simonsaystamp.com, and search Gina Shimmering Snowflakes, you'll be able to see the stamps that she used to make that frame and also the dies that go with it. You can purchase just the stamps or the stamps and the die set. So you have options. Sorry to interrupt you, Gina.
No, absolutely. And I do want to say that although I'm using a lot of the dies, you know, there are other ways to make a card like this where you can, and especially for our friends from the UK who tend to make bigger cards than we make here in the US. If you wanted to make a 5x7 card, you could stamp this frame right onto the card. You would not need to cut it out, but I'm cutting it out to get that little overlay because I do kind of like when it overlaps along the edge. And A2 cards are very popular here in the US. So that is kind of why I tend to do that. Now I've got those little bits and pieces all in here, and that's just going to help tack the whole thing down and keep it a little bit more flat once we're ready. Now I am going to cut out a white. I think I'm going to do white. Maybe I could do red. Should I do red with the shaker fill or white? Let's ask the crowd, Tom. Red or white shaker fill? And while you guys are deciding, I am going to I want to match my embossing color with my background panel. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. I'm going to, instead of using gold cardstock that's not going to match perfectly, I'm going to cut this a little bit bigger to about 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm going to take that same embossing ink pad, and I'm not going to use the embossing magic pad because I'm all about the static. So for this, I'm going to just rub this all over the edge like this because I want to have a gold layer behind here, and I want it to match perfectly. Fun
idea.
Yeah, I'm showing so many techniques tonight. We might only get one card made, but I'm not worried because I know that Jennifer McGuire and Kathy Zilski and Mindy Egan and probably Nicole Spohr
and Callie Person.
Okay, tell me, Callie Person, how many people will have card projects and videos featuring this set that the inspiration will be unlimited out there, whether I make one card tonight or two. And I'd rather make one card full of tips and tricks than try to do just 2 quick little things that maybe you've seen a million times before. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here? I'm creating my own gold cardstock. I'm going right around the perimeter. And I'm creating the perfect gold cardstock because this gold cardstock matches the gold in my frame. So here we go. Now, if this isn't gold enough or thick enough, we can go back and we can add more embossing ink and we can do another layer. It's totally fine. And again, I'm using the Gina K Designs Fine Detail Gold. I also know, I have to admit, Simon Says Stamp has a fantastic gold powder. I've used your gold powder in the past, Heidi. When I ran out of my own, I actually ordered some from Simon, and it worked great for a video that I had made for your channel a while back. So I love your powder.
I'm honored. Thank you.
So if you can't get this, or if this sells out, Simon Says Stamp's Gold is amazing. Okay. So I think that looks pretty good. Now I've got that nice gold cardstock. Isn't that fun? And if you do just one coat of this fine detail, you get kind of an orange peel effect. So it looks like textured cardstock. If you do a second coat, it gets a little bit smoother. But one coat is really fine. And if you're conserving powder because you're making a ton of these, then it's totally acceptable to just do the one coat like I'm doing. Now we're going to cut this down to be able to fit this piece of cardstock. So I'm going to cut this down to, this measures 3 3/4 by 5. So this we're going to go to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. There we go. So now I know it looks a little wonky here, but you're not going to see that once I get this on here. You can see now I've got that nice little gold. Look how pretty that looks. It's that nice fine little layer. Yeah. And it's going to look really pretty. And I'm going to bring in more of the white by putting this whole thing onto a white card base. So it's just going to pop. It's just going to be so pretty. All right, let's adhere these two panels together. I'm going to get rid of this because I feel like you can't really see the gold against that craft cardstock. I think Heidi's probably laughing at me because if you could see the mess on my table right now, guys, I am you, you are me, we are the same. It is a mess over here. I already can't find things, but it's so fun.
Are you going to kill me if I post a picture of the behind the scenes?
Absolutely not. You go ahead and do whatever you want.
I've got nothing. Instagram reels a few minutes ago.
Oh, you did? I've got nothing to hide.
I can delete it if it's a problem.
No, it's not a problem.
It's so fun to see behind the scenes.
It's a mess, and I think it's great. Oh my God.
No, I didn't go all the way over there. I just did your desk.
Oh, okay. Well, that's enough of a mess. Don't go all over though. We've got hidden secrets back here for future releases. So, okay. So now I'm going to cut a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 11 inches. And this is going to be my card base right here. And I'm going to, she keeps taking pictures and she's making me very nervous. And then I'm going to score this at 5 1/2 inches. Okay. So I know this has taken a while, but come on, this is going to be a cool card when it's done, I hope. The red cardstock is the Gina K Designs Red Hot. And it's a really nice bright red. And this definitely needs to go like right there. I love that combination. Red, gold, and white is just striking. Festive. And if you are a cooler toned person, I'll tell you that navy, silver, and white would be another great combination for this same card if you like the silver. I was really hoping to get to silver, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But you see now, like, we didn't have gold cardstock, but we didn't need it because it matches perfectly. Okay, so now it's time to create our little shaker. So I'm thinking that it might be a good idea to have just a plain circle back there so that nothing's going to escape. It is a little bit textured, although it is very pretty back there. So maybe we should leave it just like that. Why don't we leave it like that? No, I don't know. I think I'm going to cut a circle. I have to. So this is a great use for this that I cut out my template. I'm going to cut another circle about the same size as the first one that I used for my acetate. I'm just going to cut that out of here. This way I'm not wasting it because I know a lot of people went, oh, what are you going to do with that red piece? I know I do that because I don't waste anything. I've got bits and pieces of nonsense here that my children someday are going to have to get rid of on my behalf. Okay, but I think the red behind there is going to be really pretty. Leave it red? Okay, we're going to leave it red. I like that. You're right. You're right. So we will have this back here like this. This is going to be our little shaker box then. I think that's going to look great. Okay, so the embellishments that I want to use, we have so many fun embellishments, but one that I really like for shaker cards is our micro disco ball sequins. And the reason why these disco ball sequins, especially the micro ones, are so fun for shaker cards, first of all, they're super small and they're beautiful for accenting. So you could actually add some of these to this frame, and I might do that at the end. So I'm just going to put some of them in this little dish. Aren't they pretty? Look at the way they shimmer. It's like snow. It's so pretty. And then one thing that I really like to do is I like to glue a few of these onto this background before I actually put the shaker fill in there. Because when shaker fill is just sitting low, it's not as pretty. You have to shake it to see it. But if you use a little bit of glue and you just glue a couple of them back here, then you've always got something shimmering. So that's kind of fun. So let's just do a couple little random ones in here.
Boy, you are full of tips and tricks. I love this.
It's so fun. And they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be evenly spaced. It's just kind of a fun little way to create, and see that little fine tip dot that you get with the fine tip bottle? These are the Gina K Designs fine tip bottles, and it's filled with Connect glue, and you can get the tiniest little dot out of that. They're super easy to squeeze. I've had so many people tell me that with arthritis that these have been a lifesaver for them because the bottles are just like so squishy. And you can fill it with your favorite glue. So I'm sure you're not surprised that my favorite glue is Connect. And it's available at Simon. So as long as you're getting free shipping, you know, why not? So I'm going to put these on one at a time. Now, these micro disco ball ones are so tiny. And if you love a tiny little sequin, this is perfect. I love tiny sequins. I like big ones too for different things, but the tiny ones are super fun. So I'm using the Gina K Designs pick and stick tool. And sometimes I don't put enough glue down, but you know, I'm trying not to use too much glue here because I don't want all the shaker fill to stick to everything. Maybe I will just make my little dots a little bit bigger, my little glue dots. But when you're using these really small sequins, you don't really need a ton of glue.
What's on the tip of your tool there, Gina, that makes your sequins come off of the table?
Come off of the table or come off of the tip here?
What is your tip?
This is a wax tip. So if you are interested in this pick and stick tool, I'll just show you real quick. One of the things that we did for our tool is we did the white cap for the white waxy side, and we did the silver cap for the silver pick side, which is kind of nice because I don't know about you, but it never fails. With a Copic marker, I always open the wrong side. I wanted something that would help me open the right side all the time. And then it's got this wax tip that just screws on. It's got a little screw there. So you can buy replacement tips for when these wear out. And you do want to be really careful. You want to just pick them up. You just want to touch the tool to the sequin and then touch the sequin to the cardstock. And you can see it's releasing really nicely. I'm using some really tiny ones here.
This is when I would need my reading glasses.
I have mine on.
Smart.
Yeah, I always have them on. Well, I try to be vain and pretend I don't need them at the beginning of the video. I don't have them on. And then I put them on as soon as the camera goes off of me. And then Tom puts the camera on me. And the truth is out. Hey, we all need a little help, right?
Nothing wrong with a little help.
All right. So some of them you have to turn over. And I'm telling you, sometimes it's tough. They're like turtles on their back trying to turn them over. Okay, so you can see now I've got a little variety of shimmer and sparkle there so that when I put this on top, you're always going to see a little bit of shimmer in there. It's going to be pretty. But then when you shake it, of course, the other things, and some of them will get hung up on these sequins, so it'll just make it very pretty. All right, so now we know where this is going to go. So let's fill the rest of this. I want to make sure that's really dry. The glue is dry. So I'm going to use my heat tool and just dry it a little bit from a distance. I'm not trying to warp anything too much. I'm going to go from the back too.
I just want to make sure you know, Gina, how much people are loving this.
Aww.
I don't know if you can see all the comments on your channel and on ours. People are just giving you a lot of positive feedback.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm so glad that you're enjoying this. Thank you very much. And thanks for letting me know that, Heidi. Okay, so now I want to test. So I can, put that down and see how it looks. Well, now it's all spilling out the bottom because I didn't hold it well. But I think that's going to be a good amount of sequins. I think I had a decent amount there. So let's add the rest of those that fell out because I was a dummy. And that one is stuck. There we go. We'll get rid of that one. That's going to be a problem one. I can feel it. Okay. Ooh, there's a little heart in there too. Sometimes it's amazing if you get like a little heart or a little jumper, that's just good luck. That gives you good luck through the year, just in case you didn't know that. Okay, so we got it all in there. You want to make sure that it's not sticking out past that area. Can add a little more in here. And of course, you can use any shaker fill that you have for this. But I'm going to add some of these little sequins to my thing too at the end, I think. Okay, I can't get enough sparkle, so I added a little more. Now I'm going to pull these tabs off of the shaker strips, just the shaker strip part. I'm not going to do anything with the other part. And then I'll give you one little tip too. If you want, you don't have to do this, but if you want to do this, this might help you. Here's my little tip coming up. I'm getting these sequins off of this. So here's my next little tip. I am going to get a little paintbrush here, and then I am going to bounce out some powder from my embossing magic pad. And then I'm going to pick some of that up from my brush, and I'm just going to paint that on the inside of my shaker strips. And that's going to prevent sequins from getting stuck onto the adhesive there. This is also a great way if you put some tape down on something and you didn't mean to, and you kind of want to, you know, block it, it works for that as well. Okay. Okay, so I brushed it off of my screen there. It looks pretty good. If you're worried, let me grab something real quick. You guys know I use these all the time in my foiling, these little Swiffer dusters. If you're worried about it being on your inside there of your card, you can always just wrap it tightly around your finger and just clean it off of your shaker window. I might have a little on the outside there. Okay, let's get this in place. Fooled around long enough. Wait a minute. Actually, probably should have done that earlier because I got a little bit on my red cardstock, so I just wanted to blow that away. Here we go.
Oh, those are so sparkly.
Aren't they pretty? And
Great for snow.
They're wintry, yeah. Okay, so we'll flatten that out a little bit, and we'll place that on there. Okay, and now we've got our little shaker box. But see, when it's down like this, you still see like there's little snowflakes in the sky. And did you notice how they're not sticking to the acetate? Because I washed the acetate first, so they're not all getting stuck. That's one of my favorite little tips. Okay, now let me just move this all out of the way. No, we're good. That was just trash that fell. Don't worry. Okay, now this is going to get placed onto here. I'm going to put a little bit of tape on the back of this shaker box, and then I'm going to peel away all of these. So these are going to get stuck tight as well. And then I am going to emboss and die cut 2 more pieces. And this card is going to be done. And I think we got it in an hour, Heidi.
This is the kind of card I want to mass produce with a few glasses or bottles of wine with my friends.
Absolutely.
Hint, hint. We could do this again and again. We can make
really
our holiday
could.
cards.
Absolutely. So fun. Okay, so let's see where we want to put this. We'll put it right about there. And again, you know, I want to go a little bit outside the top and the side, so I'm not worried about it. There we go. And we've got that in place. Okay, so now we've got our cute little shaker box. And we can see the greeting there. Now let's do 2 more images. So the first image I want to do is I want to do the bird. Now you could stamp this bird in red, which would be kind of cool because the bird would be red on top of that white frame. That would be one way to do it. But I think just for the sake of this card, I'm going to do everything on the white and the gold. just because it's so beautiful. White and gold, and then that red background just makes it so pretty. So we'll do the bird, and we're also going to do the branch because we're going to have the bird sitting on the branch. I know some people just had a heart attack that I just placed them so in the middle. But you know, desperate times. Okay, let's get that embossing and watermark ink pad again. Let's see here. It's kind of fun that we were able to do this early. I hope that those of you that want this set, this collection, were able to get it early before it sells out.
It's not sold out yet. I know that makes you happy.
That does make me happy because it makes me really sad when like I'm still in the video and people are like just getting here and seeing the end. And so get yours.
But people are getting it. We stocked up because this is not our first time doing an exclusive with Gina K Designs. So
not the first rodeo here.
Yeah. We kept the production very busy.
That's great. I'm really glad. I'm happy to hear that. Heidi knows that the saddest thing for me is when the STAMPtember sells out before people get a chance to even, you know, see what I'm making with it. So this is all good. Okay, so I've got the bird and I've got the branch. Do a little more embossing here, the bird and the branch. Heidi almost took my card away. She's cleaning up for me, which nobody ever cleans up for me. And she probably doesn't understand that I won't be able to find anything. Oh, good. You got my dies. Here we go. Oh, this is, I love. Now, another really fun way to use this set, especially with these bold images, would be to do some emboss resist. Because I think that frame would be beautiful in white, and then using a blending brush and some turquoise ink. Oh, that would be so pretty on top of that. All right, look at those. Aren't they pretty? Now we're going to cut this out using the coordinating dies. And again, I think I might make a template because I really want them to be nice and centered. So if you're just joining us and you didn't see this the first time around, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make 2 little templates using the dies. I'm going to make one here, and I'm going to make one here. And I'm going to cut them out. And they don't have to be in the same spot that they are in the cardstock. I don't know. How many did you buy, Heidi? They're asking. 10 million? We never reveal those secrets. Okay. So now I'm going to trim this out like this.
Somebody asked what the name of those filler, the gems you had.
Oh, they're called Micro Disco Ball by Gina K Designs. Micro Disco Ball embellishments. They're sequins, and there's a couple of different sizes in there. Yeah, and you can see they're very tiny. And they're just the perfect size, and they're great also for then accenting around here, which we're going to do at the end. All right. Now we're going to cut this bird out first. And again, if you just joined us, this is my little template technique. I do it a lot because I really want to make sure that things are centered. And it's not always easy to do, especially when you have warping on your cardstock from embossing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay this on top. You see that? Like that. Make sure that it's nice and even around the perimeter. And once I know that it looks even around the perimeter, I'm going to tape it. I should have had my tape cut already. I'm going to tape it down. Then I'm going to put the die in, and when I feel it click into the hole, then I know it's in the right spot and it's going to give me a good cut. So I do it a lot. I do this technique, but I just think the little extra effort is worth it. And it makes you feel better too. When your die cuts are nice and centered, it just, I don't know, it makes your card feel a little more polished. Now, we do also have a theory around here at Gina K Designs that if a card is better than horrible, it goes out. But with STAMPtember, I'm going above and beyond my usual. And that little thing pokes out in the center. I love it. Let's poke that out. The little legs. Look how perfectly centered that is. And so this little bird is going to sit on that frame. See how that looks? But we have to have a branch because he's just kind of hanging out in space. So let's go ahead and do the other one. I'm going to lay this in place. Yes. This tip makes me happy. Just makes me happy to know that there is a way to make it look perfect every time. Okay, and I'm going to tape it down again. And, you know, part of the reason why I'm taping a lot is because it's not just the cardstock that's warped from the heat embossing, but my plates are warped too. So when you have warped plates and you have warped paper, you know, it's easy for stuff to get askew. And it's not your fault. It just happens. So if that happens, this is a technique that might work for you. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, look, I love the little cutouts on that. So now we can add this little branch in here to go across, and we can sit the little bird on the branch. So I will put it down and we'll position it a little bit better, but then we still have, and we could do the branch down a little bit, or if you like, here, let me get this out of the way so we can talk about it some more. Heidi, don't let me throw that die away. I will die, no pun intended, if I throw that die away. Okay. So we are going to use some foam squares for this. And I love these foam squares because they're super, like they're not real thick. So it just gives it a little separation without making it too bulky. But we could also, you know, you could have a branch coming in over here and you could have the little bird down here. So if you wanted to do something like that, you could do that. I'm going to put the branch right here. And then I'm going to put the little bird right there like that. And I think that's just gives it a little bit of grace. So this is going to go right down onto the cardstock. So I'm going to just put a little tape on the back. And I'm going to position it again right about there. And I'm leaving, see what I did here? I'm leaving that hole open because I'm going to put a sequin there. Let me zoom in just a little bit. I know those of you that are watching on a 76-inch television probably don't need the zoom, but just in case you want to see that. And then we can pop this bird up a little bit to give it a little bit of separation. And then we still have a nice opening there for all of that shaker to shake around. So let's pop it up. I'm using these 1/4-inch foam squares. And again, these are nice and flat. These are from my friends at ThermoWeb. They make all of my adhesive products. For that, I am so grateful. They do such a nice job. Let's peel. I cut some of them in half. That's where those little tiny ones came from. Okay. And let's make sure that doesn't go. Oh, okay, that's perfect. There we go. And see, that is just popped up a little so you get that little bit of separation there. Now we're going to go back for our final thing that we're going to do here to this card. We're going to add some little baby sequins on each of these little centers of the snowflakes.
While you're doing that, Gina, I'm going to remind people that this is the Gina K exclusive Stamp and Die set Shimmering Snowflakes for STAMPtember. You can purchase it as a Stamp and Die set or just a stamp set We do have a limited supply for STAMPtember. It's one of those things, it's exclusive, and when it's sold out for good. We do still have both items available. Yes, I'm getting a text from Stephanie that we do still have some available. So that's good. And Gina is showing us a beautiful card that she's making with the set herself. We are live in Gina K's studio in Wisconsin for STAMPtember.
So fun. So much fun. I didn't put enough glue there. Let's put a little more glue. And one thing that's kind of good when you're working with sequins is actually to do all your dots and have a little more patience than I'm having right now. Just let the glue set up just a little bit because it'll make it easier for your sequins to release. I'm not always very patient. So I'll go with some of these. And also, I like to wipe the wax tip in between just in case there's any little glue that gets on there that would make the next sequin stick. You can see if you just wait and you have a little patience, now they're starting to just come off the stick really easily. Just a couple more to go, and then we're gonna like flip this card all around. And Tom, should we give this card away? Are you okay with that, Heidi? Can I give this card away?
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay. I love to give my cards away. I do in every live. So if you want to know how to possibly win this card, all you have to do is make a comment. If you've made a comment, Tom has a little system over there where he can run all the comments through and it just randomly chooses one. And he's going to choose one and it will be random. So
do you want him to choose right now?
No,
Okay.
at the end. At the end. Because I want to give people an opportunity who maybe didn't know that they could win one.
Good plan.
That same one that didn't stick last time didn't stick this time. So we're going to do one more glue dot. But doesn't it look pretty with the sequins?
Beautiful.
And I'm going to do a sequin on the bird's eye too. Just because I can. Okay. We're going to wait. We're going to let it. Oh, gosh. I think this is going to be my Christmas card this year. I better start.
Yeah, like I said, bottles of wine. I'll come over to your house and bring a few bottles.
Okay. Okay. I'm in. I'm in.
You can make the meatballs ahead of time.
I'll make the meatballs.
Gina makes great meatballs. And sauce too.
You're so sweet. Okay, I love the sequin. I'm so glad we put the sequin on the eye. Now, let's take a look at this up close. Can you guys see that? Tom, is that too bright? Should I cut the brightness a bit?
It's fine.
Okay. And then the little bit of shaker in there and all those little sequins around the perimeter. I'm going to take a high quality photo of this and I'm going to send it over to Steph at Simon Says Stamp in case she wants to share this on their page. I'm also going to post it on my YouTube channel here so that you'll be able to see a high quality photo. I'll be posting it in my Facebook group. We'll post it on Instagram. We'll get it all over the place so you can see it because sometimes it's a little hard to see on the screen, especially all that shine and the details from the sequins. But honestly, this one is super fun. And you could always add a few sequins down here, but I do think that kind of keeping all of that sparkle and shine contained into this area is really fun. Now, let me just do what I always do and just push everything out of the way. And then we can show this stamp set one more time. Here it is. I'm going to back up a little bit so some of my junk might get in the way. But here it is, the new Shimmering Snowflake Stamp and Die Collection, the Gina K Designs exclusive STAMPtember. Now, this one, it's not going to be in my store ever. So if you're here from Gina K Designs and you're thinking about getting it and you don't know where to get it, head over to simonsaysStamp.com. Type in Gina K, Shimmering Snowflake, and you will find it and grab your collection tonight because I don't know how long it's going to last, but, you know, I don't want you to miss it if you want it. So what do you think, Heidi?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the card. I love that at the end you felt spontaneous and added the little eye to it. Is that a partridge?
It is.
To the partridge.
Mhm.
I like the idea of making cards with friends for the holidays or for any occasion.
Me too.
I love the idea you did something special for STAMPtember
I
and
love
for
it
the
too.
community, for all of you. I think the first year Gina and I did STAMPtember together, I don't know, I feel like it sold out in 30 minutes.
Yeah, it sold out really fast. Well, we didn't know.
We didn't know.
We didn't know.
We just, every time we try something different, we just try it. And if it doesn't work, we adjust and we do it again. And I think we got it this year. I think Gina's showing you all inspiration on how to use this, what she thought about when she put the elements together, how to put them together in lots of different ways. There's so many options for the set. And I'm appreciative that you're all joining us live tonight or even on rewatch to see what Gina's created and sharing with all of us. Free inspiration on YouTube and all over social media. Anything you want to add?
Well, what I'm really excited about is, I mean, every year that I've done STAMPtember with you, and it's been several years now. I mean, it's probably 5, maybe 6.
Is Stephanie in the chat? I think it's 6, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, 5 or 6. We could go with 5.
Okay, we'll go.
But the first year it sold out really fast, and then you ordered a lot more the second year, and that sold out really fast. And every year we talk and I say to you, Heidi, please order more than you think, order more than enough, order twice as much as what happened last year. And I think this year we might have nailed it.
Yeah, I think because we still have some available while you're live, means we nailed it, because it would be a disappointment to not have any available while we're live. So that's good.
Definitely. So, and that's the thing with STAMPtember, we always want it to be really fun, but we never want it to be disappointing. So hopefully you guys will get yours. And
surprise.
Everybody will be happy. And how fun is this?
Mm-hmm.
That she came to my studio.
My crafty friend, my friend, my mentor in life.
Oh my gosh. So much fun. I'm so honored to have you here in my studio. It's the first time
Thanks
for us.
having me.
Oh my gosh, it was great. And now we've got to give this card away.
I was just going to say, it's Tom.
All right. Tom. Okay. Here we go. Let's give this shaker. And there's Tom. Hey, Tom.
Cheesy drum roll. And this beautiful card goes to 57 Teacher Mom.
57 Teacher Mom. Congratulations. All right, 57 Teacher Mom. All you have to do is send your name and address to info@GinaKDesigns.com, and I'll get that right out to you. And I will also put that in my description. I'll put your name and what you need to do in the description on my YouTube channel. So even if you're watching over at Simon's, you can pop over on mine just to get the instructions one more time, and I'll get that out to you.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us for the STAMPtember fun. We have a new surprise for you at midnight tonight.
Oh, how exciting. I can't wait.
Just a few hours away.
It is. That's so exciting, too, in like a span of 5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow. Okay, very exciting. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Tom and I are actually going to be back live again tomorrow afternoon on my channel for a Crafternoon Live. And then I'll be back over the weekend with another 5-minute card video. Until then, everybody, thank you for joining us. Stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much. And we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.